All right, so Imran, I know that you are a big music fan.
Yeah.
But I wanted to know if you've signed on at all to this EDM craze that's really gaining ground here in the States.
Yeah, you know, when I asked Carla Babb about this particular question, I asked her what's the difference between EDM or hip hop and dance music or rap.
Right.
And what she was saying was that, you know, they're pretty much kind of same. You know, it's just like you have rock, but then you have classic rock and alternative rock, but they're all rock. So EDM is dance, but it's just that you have a new name for it.
Right, and a new way of producing it, right, with all the electronic sounds and everything, yeah.
Absolutely.
And we've seen actually, it's been interesting seeing the blending. You've seen those different music forms like hip hop and everything blending with the electronic sounds.
They'll take loops and throw in stuff and you know, mix that on their turntables.
Well, for those of you who are not really aware of what it is that we're talking about, EDM stands for electronic dance music. And it's been around in American clubs since the 80s, but it's only been in the last couple years that it's really gained mainstream popularity.
Yeah, and the surprising thing is that at the American Music Awards in November, it will even have its own category for the very first time. VOA's Carla Babb took on the tough assignment to find out all about EDM, and here's what she found.
The bass, electrifying. The beats, catchy. But you won't find bulky drum sets or guitars here. Electronic dance music, or EDM as it's known, is a fresh sound. And anyone with a laptop and simple software can become a composer and overnight sensation.
What makes EDM special is that it uses syncopated beats, syncopated sounds that come from electronics. So you don't have to have a guitar. You don't have to have a drum set to get a bass line. You can take music software and you can create your own music.
And it might not have any lyrics, like for example, rap will be different from EDM because rap would have vocals.
That's one of the great things about this, because DJ Dennis Koyu, for example, his first big hit didn't have any lyrics.
Yeah.
But then you look at Armin van Buuren and he sits down with singers, he sits down with guitarists even to produce some of his work. So it's a huge spectrum of genres.
The electronic punch has packed clubs and blasted EDM from underground to mainstream sensation.
I eat, sleep, breathe, live, and love electronica.
It just makes me want to dance. I just love the feeling of the music and how it hits my body.
But nightclubs aren't the only place to go to enjoy EDM. Massive festivals host tens of thousands, and concert venues like this one are popping up all over the world.
When I was talking to both of the DJs that are in the piece, DJ Dennis Koyu said, I used to come to the United States and now I understand that it's just as big here and just as excited here because people are embracing it, and Armin has had several years of this, and to be able to come to the United States and see it really expand is a really nice feeling for both of them.
Armin van Buuren has been named DJ Mag's top DJ worldwide multiple times. He's traveled to more than 100 countries to bring EDM to fans.
Being there on a dance floor, seeing the lights, the visuals, the show, and, you know, close your eyes and just take off.
Echo Stage opened in September and is one of the largest concert venues in Washington. Antonis Karagounis owns it.
It's not a VIP nightclub, it's not a lounge, like you get a table, it's pure EDM experience.
That experience can come with a hefty price tag. Lots of new fans mean places like Echo Stage can charge $60 a head when major DJs come to town.
This is the kind of money they paid to watch these EDM guys. Tell us a little bit about that. I mean, it's a huge industry and there's a lot of money to be made here.
What happens is this money is not just going to the DJs, it's going to everybody. There are new clubs and new concert venues opening up all across the world. So it's got nowhere else to go but up right now.
Do you think it has something to do with people being used to listening to live bands perform? You know, listen to the bass, listen to the lead being zapped, you know, like they say with Led Zeppelin, or listen to the sound of the drums compared to a machine making these funky sounds that you just want to dance to. You think that kind of played some role in your research and talking to musicians and artists?
You know, I was skeptical about that exact circumstance too, because when I think of going to see a performance, I think of all of the instruments coming together. Well, Armin van Buuren was talking to me and he said EDM and its expansion now is kind of like in the 60s with the Beatles. He told me if we were talking right now about the rise of music, it would be the Beatles because it was the youth culture. So I think the key that he was trying to make is that it's not necessarily the instruments, it's the output and it's the culture. And the youth right now want electronic dance music.
On that note, thank you so much for joining us. But before you go, I didn't see you dance in the piece. You weren't motivated by the music.
I was observing.
Okay.
But it is pretty hard not to dance when you're around there. I was dancing off camera, not on camera.
Great. Thanks to VOA's Carla Babb for that look at the club life and her exclusive interview with Armin van Buuren, who recently regained the top spot as DJ Magazine's #1 DJ in the world.